This episode of Getting Geeky with Game Relief is proudly being powered by OOMM Games. Remember that OOMM Games is launching No Escape, the board game, on the 30th of August. Can you escape Titan Station? No Escape is a fast-paced strategic maze-building tile game for 2 to 8 players. Use actions against each other. Play maze tiles to increase the maze for your opponents, and move using a creative dice system. A game takes approximately 30 minutes, and easy setup and takedown time makes it an ideal game for travel or family events. Be the first to find the escape pod. For everyone else, there is no escape. That's correct. Remember to look for that one, launching to your Kickstarter near you the 30th of August. Next on the lineup of another game that is proudly powering this episode of Getting Geeky with Game Relief is Stupid Users Beta Card Game. Beta is a unique, fast-paced, ever-changing, item-looting, army-building card game by Dant Ventures. They are launching to Kickstarter near you on the 4th of September and will be running through the first part of October. The Leafs will probably be reviewing this game, possibly No Escape as well. And I know for sure that we're going to have both Jonathan as well as Mandy, who are the creators of No Escape, that's Jonathan, and Stupid Users Beta Card Game, which is Mandy, on Getting Geeky with Game Relief. So make sure you pay attention to that. Also, listen to the episode as we'll tell you about our worldwide giveaway that we're doing with a couple other people. Now, let's get geeky with Game Relief.
Getting Geeky with Gamer Leaf, the podcast in which one man strives to level up his geekhood and helping you do the same, one battle at a time. Now, let's get geeky with Gamer Leaf.
This is a part where you're accustomed to hearing the story behind the game or the interviewee's game that we're interviewing. But, like we've been doing the last couple times, you're going to have to wait until after Kickstarter Corner, as we will listen and hear from the creators and masterminds behind Survival of the Dummies, a new game on Kickstarter. So, wait for that, and then you'll be able to hear all about Survival of the Dummies.
What is this place? What is it doing here in the Leaves computer? Oh, it's Kickstarter Corner with the Leaves.
With the Leaves. Oh, you're here. You probably want Kickstarter Corner. Well, let's give you Kickstarter Corner then. A new game that launched to Kickstarter yesterday, in fact. I believe it was yesterday, yeah, that's when I saw it go on, was Cryptocurrency, a game of wit and deceit. Trick your opponents into buying cryptocurrency scams while you trade, mine, and rumonger to riches in this 2 to 4 players board game. They've got 20 days to go. They're going through September 11th, and this game looks pretty fun. I think we had the creators on to talk about a previous game. It might have been this one. It might have been a different one a while back ago. But we're excited they're back. And the artwork from this game looks amazing. Definitely go check out the Kickstarter. And our friends over at Unfiltered Gamer went ahead and he reviewed it. He sounds like he likes it. So definitely check out Cryptocurrency, a game of wit and deceit, on a Kickstarter near you until the 11th of September. We'll leave links in the show notes like we usually do. Next, this one was over 400% funded in 48 hours, and we're about to tell you a little bit more of the story. My name's Uncle Harding. This crazy rascal Uncle Harding kept people guessing his whole life. Nobody knew whether he was a comin' or a goin'. Put a dang compound smack dab in the middle of a shanty town and stayed there running things left and right. Wonder if he's still there. Placed in the middle of the board and protected from random drunkards, Uncle Harding's compound is literally and figuratively the center of Shantytown, and nothing happens without his approval. So, who was that? That was Uncle Harding. Where was he coming from? He's from Moonshiners of the Apocalypse, which is finishing up on Kickstarter. It's a not-so-cooperative board game for 1 to 4 players set in a post-apocalyptic world. But there's a twist. Like I said, they were over 400% funded in 48 hours. Right now, you have an opportunity to get in on it still, as there's 40 hours to go at the time of this recording. So by the time you hear it, they're ending on Thursday. So tomorrow, from the time you hear this, tomorrow morning, early morning. So you have about 24 hours or less to go ahead and back this game, depending on when you're listening to Getting Geeky with Game Relief. So definitely go check out Moonshiners of the Apocalypse by Too Fat to Fly Games. And then next we have Necrotopia, Handbook to the Apocalypse. Necrotopia is a pen and paper role-playing game. They want to release a complete 30-page color rule set book with original artwork. Definitely check this one out. It's drawing to a close as well, as it ends on Sunday the 26th of August. Let's go ahead and make this become a reality. We had Keenan on a while back ago to talk all about it. If you want to go back and listen to the show, you're more than welcome. But definitely check out Necrotopia, Handbook to the Apocalypse. Do you like baseball, but you never get up to bat? And you'd rather be inside than outside? Well, we've got a game for you. All-Star Lineup Baseball, fast-paced tabletop baseball. All-Star Lineup Baseball, fast-paced, head-to-head, or solo baseball action on your tabletop. What we like about this game is it's all right there in front of you. They're overfunded. They reached their goal for this project, and there's still 10 days to get in on it, as they're not ending until Friday the 31st of August. So definitely check out All-Star Lineup Baseball. We had Craig on the show a while back ago. Somebody else we had on the show a while back ago was Kevin from Dark Naga. OSR Haunting of Haster modules. All 5 parts of the Haunting of Haster series in print for the OSR, which is old school rules, and there's still 12 days to get in on this action. They're not quite to their goal, but we can help them get there. So if you like OSR or role-playing or whatnot, definitely check out Dark Naga, OSR Haunting of Haster on the Kickstarters through the 2nd of September. Speaking of role-playing games, have you heard of Afterverse, sci-fi tabletop RPG? You probably have if you've been listening to the show long. If not, definitely check out Afterverse. It's a sci-fi tabletop RPG featuring an expansive and versatile world and the D6 Bank game system. We had him on the show a while back ago, and they have reached their funding goal. There's still 2 weeks to get in on this fun, as it doesn't end until Tuesday, the 4th of September. Next is Battle Bosses. Battle Bosses is a multiplayer miniature battle arena game for 2 to 6 players, where each player controls an epic boss and their minions. And there's some awesome miniatures with this game. So definitely check this one out. I really love looking at the miniatures and whatnot. And there's still 23 days, so you don't get left in the dark when it comes to Battle Bosses, as they end on Friday the 14th of September. Next is a strategic party game. Players perform challenges to earn Badonka dollars. The most money after 60 to 90 minutes wins. This is from Jackwagon. Actually, the Giveaway Geek is doing a giveaway for this game or whatnot. You can definitely go check that out. The one we're promoting is a PG-13 edition. Use option 1 to play the family-friendly way. Play with the green challenge deck only by removing the jacked up cards and excluding the Jackwagon deck in their family-friendly version. It's acceptable for teens ages 13 to adult. So if you're into that kind of stuff, definitely check out that one. I compare it to Truth or Dare, like I played when I was a kid. Next is the Year of Cthulhu. You know Game Relief, and you know Cthulhu, and I like them both. Plus, calendars are sometimes helpful to me. So why not the Year of the Cthulhu, a 2019 calendar? Well, why not? It's a calendar featuring Cthulhu and other mythos strangeness, featuring the artwork of Evgeny Molonishkinoff. 12 fantastic images for 2019. They've reached their goal. They've surpassed it by 3 times, I believe. And they still have, or you still have, until Thursday the 30th of August in the evening, Mountain Standard Time, to check this one out. So definitely check out the Year of Cthulhu, a 2019 calendar by OOMM Games. Next, this one just barely launched yesterday. And at the time of the recording, they're only $10 away from their goal. So I imagine by the time you're listening, they will be fully funded, or as my kids like to say, they will have reached their goal. But Dragon Dreams is a standalone and expandable card game. You choose one of 4 decks or combine them all and choose your dragon god and dominate. Fast, fun, easy to learn. This one looks awesome. Bunch of dragons on the cards. The artwork is amazing. They say 10 years and older, 2 to 4 players, 20 to 30 minutes. And you know what? We got a special treat coming up for you in the next couple days. We're going to have Anthony, the creator of Dragon Dreams, on the podcast to talk all about it. So make sure you're paying attention to that. But definitely jump on this one as it's a shorter campaign. You only have 2 weeks to go ahead and get this great game, as the campaign is ending on Wednesday, the 5th of September. So definitely check that out. And now, on to hear our interview with the creators and masterminds of Survival of the Dummies. I would say stick on until after the interview to find out about a worldwide giveaway if you've yet to find out about it, or just to hear me saying goodbye to you. But why not enter a giveaway as well? But anyway, let's get on with the show, shall we?
Now, let's get geeky with Gamer Leaf.
The year is 2040. Zombies, Skynet Terminators, vampires, and super-intelligent apes have taken over Earth. Due to limited resources, only the smartest and most talented were evacuated to Mars. If you're watching this, you were not one of those people. Luckily for you, the people on Mars are now bored and have decided to use underachievers, like you, as free entertainment on the hit new trivia game show, Survival of the Dummies. 2 small teams go head-to-head to see if they are worth saving. If your team wins, you receive transportation to Mars. Before you get a chance to go on the live show, practice at home with your friends. And remember, you don't have to be smart, just smarter than the dummy next to you.
Did that sound familiar to you guys? It didn't to me neither, but that is the story or the narrative of Survival of the Dummies, a party game for underachievers, a new game on Kickstarter. And tonight we're lucky enough to have on the creators and masterminds behind this great game, both Jeremiah and Tequila. Is that correct? Is that how you guys fall in line with Survival of the Dummies?
Yeah, that's correct.
Awesome. So yeah, thank you so much for joining us on Getting Geeky with Gamerleaf. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, we really appreciate it.
No problem. We appreciate you coming on the show, so that's awesome. Now, before we get into Survival of the Dummies, let's rewind a little bit if we could. We don't have to go back too terribly far, of course, unless you were born into playing tabletop board games or party games in this case, I guess. But how did you guys get started into playing games?
I'll let my wife start first, I guess.
I think it's just kind of been a tradition in my family. We play at every family function. Loud, function, any kind of game.
Are they always party games, or?
It varies. So yeah, it's party games, board games, card games, anything competitive.
And you've just been doing this since you were born, or was there a certain game that got you in?
You know, I'm not sure. I think that we started playing party games when I was 4 or 5 years old.
Oh, okay, for quite some time. That's awesome. So what about yourself, Jeremiah?
For me, I think it was a lot of card games growing up. I lived in the middle of nowhere, and my friends and I, we were always playing card games because it was really the only thing we had until, we could afford, Nintendos and stuff like that. But then it was a lot of strategy games and RPG games, and I kind of got out of that when I got older. But now it's, when we hang out with friends and family, it's we're all really competitive. So we always love playing party games and things like that. So my love of games has always been there. It's just the type of games have changed over time.
Awesome. And you said you fell out of it for a while. What game brought you back in, Jeremiah?
I don't know if it was a particular game, but we moved to Texas back in 2013 from California. So now it's a little bit different. We visit our family, which is mostly in California. And when we go back there, it's usually for the holidays. And so when we all get together, it's kind of tradition to, after we eat and all that stuff, to play some type of game, whether it's, some type of party game or charades or Pictionary or whatever. But same thing with my family. We're all super competitive, and it usually ends up in a lot of arguments, even though it's all in good fun. But it's just how we kind of like bonding with each other, I guess.
Yeah, I just recently listened to a podcast that's brand new. I think it's called the Southern Fried Gaming or whatnot. And one of the hosts on there talked about how competitive they are and how competitive their family is. And they even turn, their kids even turn competitive games into, co-op games into competitive games.
Yeah, and I think that's... that can really add a new dynamic to things, especially when you're dealing with different groups. So, yeah, that sounds fun.
Awesome. So, word on the street is you guys have a new game on Kickstarter. What can you tell us about Survival of the Dummies, a party game for underachievers?
Survival of the Dummies, it's a trivia-based party game, and it's meant to distract you while you're trying to answer a bunch of questions. So, for example, we have cards that have dummyisms at the top of each card, and these are going to be the mental distractions that the team who is playing will have to follow for each round. And so this is something that you'll have to do while you're trying to answer some trivia questions. And so our trivia questions range from easy, medium, and then to kind of hard. So, babe, do you want to kind of add to that?
Yeah. So the whole goal of the game, it's like she said, it's real simple in that it's trivia, but while you're playing it, you're trying to coordinate with your team and answer the questions, and the dummyisms or distractions are throwing you off while you're trying to play, and that's where the complexity comes from. That it's just chaotic. It's like organized chaos where you're trying to answer these questions and try not to be thrown off by those added instructions.
So does somebody on your team will ask the questions, and then the other people on the team have the dummyisms or whatever you call them, and they try to answer the questions?
Yes. So we try to... this game will have about like 4 players minimum and up. It's all about kind of bringing a lot of people together. So ideally, you'll have an impartial host that will read the questions off of the card. But if there's not enough people or everybody wants to play, the opposing team will then read the questions off of the card to the other team. And so not only do they have to listen to the instructions, they have to follow the directions that are on there, and all while answering those questions.
And then the impartial host is the judge, or how's that work?
The cards themselves are the judge. So there's several different ways that you can get the points. So each card has about 6 points that you can get. And so the different levels will give you, so like the first level, which is easy, will give you 1 point. And then the second level, which is our medium, will give you about 2 points. And then the last level, which is a little harder question, will give you about 3 points. However, if you don't get the first one correct, you don't get that 1 point, but you can move on to the other 2 cards. That's only if you answer them incorrectly. However, if you fail to do the dummyism, the instructions, then you lose the points altogether on that card.
And you said you're trying to get them correct?
Yes.
Per se, we just sit down to play Survival of the Dummies, a party game for underachievers. What would that look like? What would it sound like? This is a podcast, after all.
So, yeah, I can kind of break that down. So, imagine you have these two teams, and there's 4 or 5 people on one team or more, and then 4 or 5 people on the other team, and then you have a host that's kind of acting as the reader of the questions and kind of the judge as far as keeping things in somewhat order. And so the host would take the card, and usually what we do is that before you start each team, we have a team captain for each team, and we call them the designated dummy, and that person would play either rock, paper, scissors with the other team captain, or flip a coin, and that would determine who goes first. And then whoever goes first, the host would pick up the card, and first they would tell them what the distraction is. And so for instance, the distraction might be that team, whenever someone is talking, they have to cover their eyes with their hands, and when they're not talking, they have to uncover them. So once they're ready, you start a timer, and now anytime that team is talking with somebody else on the other team or giving the answer, they have to follow those instructions. So, for instance, the question might be, this is like, say, for 1 point, what is the major city Hartford in? And then it would be A, Delaware, B, Maine, or C, Connecticut. So if the team didn't know the answer, you can imagine that team trying to confer with each other, and they're trying to follow the dummyism. So one team member might start speaking, and they'd have to cover their eyes. And then when they stop speaking, they have to uncover them. And then somebody else, if they're trying to speak, they're trying to cover their eyes and then uncover them at the same time. And so while you're discussing, trying to figure out the answer, and then you finally do give the answer, you have to make sure you're still following those instructions. And the craziness happens when, if the team is struggling to determine that answer, they're talking over each other, or they forget to follow the instructions. And even if they have the answer right, they lose that point because they didn't follow the instructions. So usually when we're playing, it gets pretty crazy, where people are trying to not forget what they're supposed to be doing with the dummyism while listening to the questions and answer them. So that's kind of like a typical kind of scenario, I guess.
Oh, okay, awesome. Now we probably don't want to give out too many spoilers, if you will. But do each of you maybe have a favorite dummyism?
Yeah, that is a good question. Favorite, I am pretty partial to the ones where you have to dance or something like that while you're trying to answer questions. Like we have one where you have to moonwalk like Michael Jackson while answering certain questions. So those always are pretty good laugh, or at least attempt to. That's usually what the card says, attempt to do something. Even if you can't do it well, you still have to try it.
And what about yourself, Tequila?
Well, I think I'm partial to the ones where they're very simple. So there'll be one that says you have to cover your eyes while talking and uncover them while not talking. And just the confusion of when do I cover my eyes? And if everybody on the team is trying to talk, everyone on the team has to do that. And so I think I like that part of it, because people then get really confused and then they're extremely distracted from what the original question was.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So yeah, try to distract each other. Now it's your turn to play at home. Jeremiah, do you have a question? I don't know if you have the cards around. Do you have a question maybe on one of the cards, or just off the top of your head that you can ask, and you can give the dummyism, Tequila?
Sure.
Okay, so this is for the people at home, so that are listening or whatnot. So if you want to give the dummyism, Tequila, and then you can follow it up with the question for him, Jeremiah.
Dummyism on one card will say that team members cannot blink their eyes while speaking.
And the question is, for one point, U.S. hotels traditionally don't include which floor on the elevator? And it's A, 7th floor, B, 9th floor, C, 13th floor.
You now have I guess you have to have one of your friends or somebody you're listening to the podcast with, or just wait till you have somebody around. But you want to go ahead and answer Jeremiah's question to your friend or whatnot. Or I guess you can go ahead and email us or do whatever you feel is necessary. But yeah, what floor do they typically not go to the elevators in the hotels or whatnot, and do that without blinking? And you have a chance to win our free demo of the game or whatnot. Actually, yeah, do this. Go ahead and jump over to survivalofthedummies.com/subscribe, and we'll go. And it looks like Jeremiah and Tequila will get you a free print-at-home demo, so you can try it out yourselves, not just on a podcast, but you can try it out yourselves, and then you can jump over to the Kickstarter and back it. Is that correct? Is that how that would work for them?
Yeah, we really want people to try out the game, and I think this is a game that it's best if you can try it out with people that like games or your friends and family. And if they go to that website you just gave, then they can download a copy and try it at home. And if they like it, then yeah, definitely check out our Kickstarter page.
Yeah, like you said, they probably don't want to try it out with people that don't like games. That wouldn't be good.
Yeah.
Per se, somebody's fallen asleep, it wouldn't be because of you guys or this great game. It'd be because of me and my podcast. Let's see here. We're on the third week of August or so, somewhere around there. And at the time of this recording, since the first of the year, we already have 136 episodes out. So sometimes they get a little tired of hearing me drone on and on. I guess maybe I get a little boring or something. I'm not sure. But so they've fallen asleep. But now they're suddenly jolted awake so they don't hit the oncoming traffic. Why should they take a chance on Survival of the Dummies, a party game for underachievers, especially with all the other great games that are out there on the Kickstarters currently?
That's a good question. I think that our game kind of provides a sense of community. Right now, there's a lot of course, electronics and technology that kind of pull us away from just having a really good time with our friends and family. And then our game allows for diversity. So you can have old and young, or you can have those who are into pop culture or history or even geography, and just having a bunch of different people on your team. And it's really, while yes, anyone can be a winner on this game, because those distractions can really slip up the smartest person in the room. And it's really all about just fun and laughter and having just a bunch of people kind of come together and not really kind of let their guard down. I think we have a lot of, we're a little strategic sometimes. And so this is just really about having fun.
Awesome. And I'm looking at the video, or the opening part of the video, or screenshot or whatever it is at the first. It looks like monkeys, zombies, and vampires, as well as cyborgs, might even be able to play Survival of the Dummies.
Yeah, that's a major component. I encourage people to check out our video on our Kickstarter page. We have I think a pretty cool kind of introduction. It gives you background, and it's a kind of an animated cartoon that explains why everyone is playing this game in a more visual way. So I encourage you to check it out there.
Yeah, I would definitely just jump over to the Kickstarter page and watch the video. If nothing else, it's pretty cool, like you said, Jeremiah. So that's awesome. So let's see here. What about yourself, Jeremiah? Do you have anything to add to that and why they should back this game, or at least check it out, especially with all the other great games on Kickstarter?
I think my wife summed it up pretty well. But I do want to add that it's the one thing that I really love about the game, and when we were play testing it with other people, is it really allowed people to want to include other people on their team that, a lot of times we want the smartest people when you're doing like a trivia type game. But this game, it really punishes you if you don't have a good mix of people on your team. So you want somebody that's really big into movies. You want somebody that might be good at math. You want somebody that might be 13 or 14-year-old because they're really into, social media or something like that. You want somebody that's maybe 40 or 50 that knows a lot about the past history. So it really makes you want to have a team of well-rounded individuals, and having all those different groups that may not interact with each other normally, kind of act silly and kind of make fun of themselves while you're playing a game is really fun. Way to play a game, I think, and it's a little more relaxed than maybe your strict party game or tabletop game. So I think it's a good mix if you want something just a little bit more laid back.
Awesome. And if somebody goes ahead and takes a chance on this and backs Survival of the Dummies, a party game for underachievers, how many cards would they expect to get?
The base version that we're starting off with, it has a little over 700 cards, or 700 questions. It's probably 200 and something cards, so it'll provide quite a lot of gameplay. For us at the demo that we provided, I think it has about 30 something cards, and that probably will get you to about 45 minutes to an hour. So you have a lot of gameplay. And then if we can hit if we can hit our minimums, we might be able to add some additional cards. It just depends on what the manufacturing and things like that. But you'll be able to play this game numerous times before you run out of cards.
Awesome. And if they haven't been able to get over to the Kickstarter page yet, what's something like this going to put them back if they decide they want to back it?
The base level, if you just want the game, and we have a few bonus items, but it comes with the main game, is $24 with free shipping. So that's the basic. And then if it goes from there, that we have some added features like we have the team captain wristbands, the designated dummy wristbands for your team captains. We have some branded, we call them survival chips, which basically they're branded Survival of Dummies kind of coins, so you can use them to determine who goes first, or if there's any arguments between the teams, you can impartially decide who gets to go or who gets the correct answer. And then there's also some branded notepads. This is a game that you probably want to have some scratch paper with you. So it's just some other fun things that we've added to it. But the base is $24 with free shipping.
Awesome. And I know you don't want to overpromise and underdeliver. So if somebody does back it, when would they anticipate getting their game?
Right now, we're looking probably around January. We've done a lot of research with manufacturing and things like that. So we can hit our goal and get the game funded, then we can probably have the game ready to be shipped to us by the end of the year, and then we can get it out to backers probably in January.
Awesome. So yeah, like I said, like we usually do, we'll leave all the links in the show notes so they can go ahead and jump over there and check out Survival of the Dummies, a party game for underachievers. Now, it sounded like you guys had gotten a chance to listen to a couple of the episodes or whatnot, so maybe you're prepared, maybe you're not, but the next portion of the show is called Adventures in Application Acquisition, where we talk about an app, be it for your cell phone, your tablet, your computer, or even a video game. And it doesn't even necessarily have to do with tabletop board gaming or surviving amongst other dummies or trivia or anything like that. It can be anything you use a lot of. Is there an app that I prefer if you each have a favorite one, but if you guys both use the same app, we can do just one. But do you guys have an app that you like to use that we can talk a little bit about for a moment?
There actually is one that I haven't played it for a little bit, but it's actually a programming game. And I don't know if this qualifies for your show or not, but it's called Human Resources. It's in the iTunes App Store, and you basically are trying to program your character to perform certain actions to solve little puzzles. And I work in the tech field, and to me, it's fun because you're kind of learning the basics of programming, but also at the same time, you have these funny little characters and these little weird scenarios that you're trying to figure out.
And is that a free app or does it cost?
I think that one cost.
Oh, okay, awesome. And we can leave a link in the show notes or whatnot. If you own the rights to the Human Resources app, what would be one thing you would do to fix it or make it better, Jeremiah?
I don't know. I don't know. I'd probably maybe some more tutorials maybe to help out. Some of the harder levels get a little bit trickier. So maybe some extra guidance there for people that might be new to programming. I think for me, I've done some of it before, so I'm able to eventually figure it out. But and if you're new to programming, it can be pretty tough if you don't know some of the tricks of the trade, I guess.
Okay, awesome. And what about yourself, Tequila? Do you have a favorite app or that we can talk about for a moment?
Well, like Jeremiah said, I'm huge kind of I play a lot of games, but my games are so like there are a lot of trivia based games, so no surprise there, and a lot of like word based games. And they're free. So I play a lot of like Sudoku and any word scramble. Right now I started playing, there's an app called Word Collect.
Word Collect, what can you tell us about that one?
So Word Collect, you spell as many words. They give you a bunch of different letters and you spell as many words as you possibly can. And you have to spell what they have required. So say there's 20 words possible out of the letters that they present, then you're supposed to spell 20 words. And then so those words can range from 8 letters to 3 letters at a time. And so that's kind of what I've been playing the past couple of weeks.
Awesome. And do they have all the words that you can pick selected, or can you do anything?
Like you can never see the words, so you don't know what those words are. There's a lot of like you can you build points, so then you can kind of spend those points on helping you determine what the first letter of a word might be, or other points, you spend more points to get more letters in that word. But other than that, there's really no other help other than there's 20 words, figure it out.
Awesome. I don't know if it's the same game. It sounds a lot like a game me and my wife were playing for a while. She plays it still, but I had to take a hiatus off my phone. But it was something like that, similar to that, where all the levels are based in the Kenshin or whatnot, and then you have to guess words with the number of letters you get, and then some of them, if they're not on the list of words, they'll go into like a secret cookie jar or something, and you get points that way as well. But it sounds similar to that. What was the name of that? You said Word Collect?
Yes.
If you own the rights to Word Collect, what would be one thing you would do to fix it or make it better, Tequila?
Oh, I'm now on what's called the level infinity, and that one is a little. I wish it wasn't. I wish it was before how I explained. Now the level infinity, they throw in some of those other words that are not really known, and so they used to. I think it is this exact same game that you were describing. It used to just go into a little pot, but now now some of those words go directly into what you need to spell, and those words are usually not anything that you're aware of. So I wish that they didn't have this infinity level and just kind of increased as you go. And so you still get those extra words and those go into the pot, and then you can use the real words or in those other slots.
Well, there you have it. We try to make a green podcast around here. So you heard it here first on Getting Geeky with Game Relief, what Jeremiah would do to make human resources a little bit better by adding the tutorials, and what Tequila would do to make Word Collect better by fixing that infinity level for her. So if any of the creators or people that keep updating the apps and whatnot are ever listening to the podcast, you heard it here first on Getting Geeky with Game Relief, what the creators of Survival of the Dummies, a party game for underachievers, would do to fix that or make it better. Now, mine is coming there to Texas to stalk you guys personally, or California when you're visiting people. What can people do to go ahead and keep up with you guys or what you have going on with Survival of the Dummies?
Best way is probably follow us on social media. You can find us on Instagram at Survival of the Dummies. Same for Facebook, same it's at Survival of the Dummies, or Twitter. That one is at Survival Dummies. Or you can jump on our website. Like we mentioned earlier, you can go to survivalthedummies.com/subscribe, and we will keep you updated with any news or changes. Or if you're already on Kickstarter, you have an account, you can follow us on there if you want to have the latest updates.
Awesome. And you can always and you can always go ahead and throw a dollar, even if it doesn't look like something you want to try, or if you kind of want to try it, just go ahead and put $1 towards, and you'll get all the updates as well, or whatnot. And perhaps you don't know about Kickstarter or whatnot. I don't know why. If you're listening, maybe you're new or whatnot, but nothing will be charged to your card until it's funded and they reach that date of the 8th of September. So if it looks interesting, go ahead and back it. The sooner they get to that goal, the sooner they can go ahead to add cards and whatnot. Is that what you said?
Yeah, we have those 700 plus questions already in the base game, but if we can get past that, we can potentially add more. It just, if you're not familiar with the manufacturing world, there's certain minimums, and then the numbers that the manufacturers print, it depends on the prices and how things kind of balance out. So but we just want to make it to our initial, so we can kind of spread the game with everyone, and then we'll add those new things if we get to there.
Awesome. Yeah, so definitely at least go ahead and click the links and check out the Kickstarter page. We don't want to keep you all night, but we really appreciate you coming on Getting Geeky with Game Relief with us tonight to talk all about Survivals of the Dummies, party game for underachievers. We really appreciate it, Jeremiah and Tequila.
Thanks. We really do appreciate it.
Thank you.
No problem.
You're still with us? Good, I'm glad. So, if you're still with us, perhaps you listen because you like to hear the sound of my voice, or even better, perhaps you listened and stuck around so you could find out about our giveaway that we're doing with Logan Chop's Reviews, The Giveaway Geek, and Board Game News. Either way, since you're still listening, I might as well tell you about it. So what you want to do is you want to go ahead and go over to our website, which is GameReliefGo.com. That's kind of like Pokemon Go, but it's Game Relief Go. And you want to go ahead, we'll leave a link in the show notes like usual, but click on the tab that says Current Giveaway. We are in fact giving away one copy of Hitler's Reich, World War II in Europe. 2 hours, 1 or 2 players. And this is, like I said, this is coming from myself, the Giveaway Geek, Board Game News, as well as Logan Chop's Reviews. And right now, at the time of this recording, you have 17 days left to enter. And like I said, it is a worldwide giveaway. So it ends on the 7th of September. So why not jump over there? Take a few actions. You can make entries every day. There are different things you can do. And check it out. One lucky listener will win Hitler's Reich, delivered worldwide. Maybe this will help our worldwide audience improve. As people in the UK, I've noticed, you're dropping, and people in Denmark are surpassing you in the number of downloads. Canada's way down, as well as Australia. So if you're listening, tell your friends, because they could win this game as well. And if you don't win and they do, why not share the wealth and play it with them? Anyways, your least favorite time, my least favorite time for you to get on with your lives, me to get on with my life. But in the meantime, go ahead and get geeky, stay geeky, and bring others in the geek fold. And if you like what you're hearing over here with Getting Geeky with Game Relief, make sure you go ahead and jump over to iTunes. You don't have to have an account. You don't have to listen on iTunes. Just subscribe. That helps more people find it, as well as leaving a rating and review. We would love to hear what you think of Getting Geeky with Game Relief. And you can always email us over at GameRelief@GameReliefGo.com. That's a way to get a hold of us. Otherwise, check out our Facebook page at Getting Geeky with Game Relief. Just search that in the Facebook search engine and you'll find us. But like I said, you go ahead and get on with your life, and we'll catch you on the flip side. Gamer Leaf out.
Gamer Leaf levels up. Tune in next week to see if Gamer Leaf's luck holds up.